One of the most common mistakes when importing 3D DWG files into Revit is this. You create a section view, but the DWG object doesn't get cut at all. Let me show you a simple workaround that solves this problem. Quite often, especially when you're working on a large project with multiple teams such as the mechanical team, electrical team, or even the structural team, you may need to import a 3D DWG object into your Revit project. For example, let's say I need a 3D object like this for the mechanical system in my Revit project. Of course, the best way to do this is to model this object as a Revit family and use it in the project. Or maybe we have a special architectural element that we want to bring into Revit, like this spiral stair with a unique shape, but sometimes we don't have enough information to build a Revit family, or we simply don't have enough time to model it. So in that case, we may have to use a SketchUp or AutoCAD object instead. To use these SketchUp objects in Revit, we first need to export them as a 3DWG file and then import the DWG file into Revit. First, I create a new folder called Export DWG and I save all the exported files there. Alright, the first export is ready. Now let's export the second file as well. We go to the File menu and from the Export section, I choose 3D model. The second export is done and now let's move to Revit. Here, I first create a very simple floor plan. First, I use the wall tool to create a simple room. Let's also reduce the wall height a little bit. And then I use the floor tool to create a floor for it. Now the project is ready for importing the 3D objects. We're going to place the 3D objects inside this space and create sections from them. To import a DWG object, we first go to the Manage tab and select Manage Links. In the dialog box, go to the CAD Formats tab and load the AutoCAD file from here. First, I load the file for the mechanical equipment. My file is now imported into Revit, and now I can use it in my project. I unpin the object and move it into the plan. Now let's import the stair object. And again, from the CAD Formats tab, I select the AutoCAD file for the stair. Then I unpin it and place it in the right location. Alright, let's switch to the 3D view and see how the objects look. As you can see, the objects have been imported into Revit as 3D geometry. Now for the main part, we want these objects to appear as cut geometry in the sections we create in Revit. To do that, I select the section tool and draw a section line here. If I open this section now, I should only see this part of the stair in the section view. Let's open the section view. As you can see, Revit cannot cut DWG objects in section views. Instead of seeing a cut section of the object, we're seeing the entire object. So in this view, we don't get a proper section cut, we just see the full geometry. To make this easier to understand, I'll create another section line a little farther back from the first one. Adjust the section boundaries, and then I open the second section. Yes, as you can see from both section views, it doesn't matter where the section line is placed. The objects are not being cut at all, so in the section view, we're always seeing the entire object instead of a cut section. Even in the plan view, the stair is displayed as a complete object. Normally, like a standard Revit stair, we should only see the first few steps in the plan view, not the entire stair. Alright, let's move on to the second object and go through the same steps for that one as well. First, I create a section line here and adjust its boundaries and view depth. And then we open the section view, and as you can see, the object is not being cut. It is displayed as a complete object in the section view. For this object as well, to get a better understanding of what's happening, we'll create another section line in a different location and compare the two section views. In the second section, we should only be seeing this part of the object. But as you can see, the entire object is still visible in the section view. Exactly the same as in the first section. So to solve this problem, we have a smart workaround. Instead of importing the object directly into Revit, we first create a Revit family, then import the 3D object into that family, and finally load the family into the project. Let me show you the process once. For a better comparison, I'll first make a copy of this space, and then we'll use the correct method there. Alright, let's start with the first step, creating a Revit family. From the new family option, we choose a suitable family template. I'm going to use the metric generic model template. You can choose a different category depending on the type of object you're working with. In the family editor, we can't import DWG files through the Manage tab anymore. Instead, we need to go to the Insert tab and import the file directly into the family. I import the AutoCAD file for the mechanical equipment. Now the 3D object has been imported into the Revit family. In the next step, I load the family into the project. I place the family into the plan. And now we create another new Revit family for the stair object. Again, I choose the metric generic model template. Just like before, we import the AutoCAD file into the family from the Insert tab. And then we load it into the project. Now you can already see the difference in the plan view. Like I mentioned before, this staircase should be cut in the plan view, not displayed as the entire staircase. And that's exactly what happened when we loaded the stair as a family. The stair is now being cut correctly in the plan view. To make sure it also works correctly in the section view, I'll create a section line here. And then we'll compare these two section views side by side. This is the section view of the family, and As you can see, it works perfectly and our object is being cut correctly. And this is the section from the object imported directly into Revit. And as you can see, the section line was not able to cut it. Let's create a section line for the stair as well and test it. This section is from the family, and as you can see, it shows the staircase cut correctly. So to sum it up, if you want 3 DWG objects to display correctly in Revit, you should not import them directly into the project. Instead, first import them into a Revit family and then load that family into the project. This way, the objects will behave correctly in plan views, section views, and other Revit views.